Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Outdooraholic channel. My name is Nathan. On today's adventure with the El Paso HOG chapter, we had 17 motorcycles taking off on a Saturday morning for a long day ride. We headed out from El Paso, Texas, headed east through Salt Flat, past the Guadalupe Mountains, past the Carlsbad Caverns National Park, up to Carlsbad in New Mexico. Then we headed north through Artesia, stopped for lunch in Roswell, then headed west through Ruidoso, Mescalero, Tularosa, and then back south through Alamogordo, Oro Grande, and back into El Paso. All in all, it's about 450 miles. Weather was beautiful. It started out a little chilly. That first stretch, I would say from El Paso to Carlsbad, was probably in the 40s, lower 40s, and we felt it. It was chilly. But as we headed north the rest of the trip, it warmed up nicely. Up in the mountains, Ruidoso, it was like mid-60s, and then coming back south through Oro Grande and back into El Paso, it was probably low 80s. So beautiful weather. You really couldn't have asked for better temperatures. We've been getting really lucky with our weather on our past few hog rides, and the weather should continue to improve. So as we ride on this loop, I'm going to talk about some of the history of some of the towns we go through, and some of it's pretty fascinating, including an incident that is directly related to the only time in history that the Texas Rangers have surrendered to an adversary. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video and follow along. It was an awesome adventure, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Once you head east from El Paso on US Highway 62-180, the first thing you're going to come to is a Border Patrol checkpoint. We had no issues at all going through, just waiting for the rest of the group to join up here. Then as you continue east, the first town you come to is the town of Cornutus, Texas. Cornutus is named after the Cornutus Mountains, which are about 15 miles north of the town. Cornutus was originally established back in 1938. They had their own post office for about a year before that shut down. And currently the only thing there is Maze Cafe, which is a little burger shop. These are the salt flats at the base of the Guadalupe Mountains. This salt was the cause of a lot of dispute and the start of the San Elizario Salt Wars. I don't have near enough time to go into all the dynamics that led to the San Elizario Salt Wars, but suffice it to say that salt was a valuable commodity and it was found in great quantities here, and there were disputes over ownership and access to the land, which resulted in the death of 12 people and over 50 people being injured. Also marked the only time in U.S. history that the Texas Rangers have surrendered to an adversary. About 20 Rangers were holed up in the San Elizario Church for 2 days against a mob of over 500 people who they eventually surrendered to. The after effects were pretty dramatic. At the time, San Elizario was a big city that had all the political power in the area. Afterwards, the community leaders retreated into Mexico. The county seat was moved from San Elizario to what had been Franklin, but now became El Paso, Texas. They became the political power of the area. The U.S. military sent the 9th Cavalry of Buffalo soldiers to Fort Bliss to keep an eye on the local Mexican population and on the area. About 5 years later, when the railroad came through in the early 1880s, they intentionally bypassed San Elizario and the railroad went through El Paso instead. At the time, San Elizario had been the big city, El Paso just a little community. Currently, El Paso has about a population of about 700,000 people, and San Elizario's population is around 13,000. And that is directly related to the San Elizario Salt Wars and then fighting over the salt flats here at the base of the Guadalupe Mountains. All right, moving on. So now we're riding through the Guadalupe Mountains. Behind me, you can see the rock formation El Capitan. It's just a dramatic, stunning formation that really highlights the Guadalupe Mountains. Also moving up from there is Guadalupe Peak, which is the tallest mountain in the state of Texas at 8,751 feet above sea level. I climbed that mountain about 15 years ago for the first time, and I've done it probably about 10 times since then, and that's what got me started trying to climb the tallest mountain in every state. Guadalupe Peak was the first one I did, and I've done the tallest mountain in 41 different states now. Anyway, this is also home to Guadalupe Mountains National Park, which was established as a national park back in 1972. We're going to be doing a video on this national park here soon as part of our national park series, so if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe. People have inhabited the Guadalupe Mountains for over 10,000 years. The Spanish arrived back in the 16th century. Mescalero Apaches occupied the area until the mid-1800s. The Butterfield Overland Mail Route, which was contracted by the United States Postal Service to deliver mail from two terminals in the east, Memphis, Tennessee, and St. Louis, Missouri, to San Francisco, California, ran right through here until the onset of the Civil War in 1861, when they had to shut down the mail route and a lot of the stages were seized by the Confederate Army and used in the war effort. All right, here's the New Mexico state line. Up to this point we've been in Texas, but for the rest of the day we will be in New Mexico. So we're coming up to White City, which is a little town. It's the turnoff to go to Carlsbad Caverns. The town itself was established back in the 1920s as a resort for people visiting the Carlsbad Caverns. We're going to be doing a dedicated video to the Carlsbad Caverns National Park here shortly as well. But just suffice it to say, the caverns were discovered in 1898. They were protected as a national monument in 1923 and then converted to a national park in 1930. We're rolling into Carlsbad, New Mexico. So Carlsbad was originally established back in 1888 under the name Eddy, which is now the name of the county, Eddy County. The name was changed to Carlsbad, and ironically enough, it was named after a famous European spa, Carlsbad, spelt with a K, which is located in what is now the Czech Republic. With the El Paso chapter of the Harley Owners Group, we invite all makes and models to ride with us, and we usually have some bikes from other makes, Indians, BMWs, Yamahas. But for this ride, we ended up with entirely Harley Davidsons. It was all touring bikes and trikes, as well as two Softails. We had a 2020 Fat Boy and a 2002 Heritage Softail that made the ride with us as well. All right, here we are rolling into Roswell, New Mexico. So Roswell was established in 1869 and is the 5th largest city in New Mexico. Although that's not what it's known for, it is known for UFOs, specifically the UFO incident of 1947. So the incident happened back in July of 1947. Something crashed in the desert 75 miles from Roswell. Initially, the official story was that it was a standard weather balloon. Years and years later, they came out that it was part of a U.S. Air Force balloon for monitoring the Soviet nuclear program as part of Project Mongol. However, conspiracy theories abounded. It got really popular, especially in the 1970s, that it was a flying disc that was recovered, that actual extraterrestrials were recovered. Who knows what actually happened, but Roswell as a city has definitely embraced the UFO phenomenon and the whole feeling of the city. There's little green men in front of stores and gas stations, and Roswell is also home to the International UFO Museum and Research Center. The whole theme of the city is UFOs and aliens, so it's really fun to visit and check out. We had a great lunch at Pepper's Grill and Bar here in Roswell. They have indoor seating as well as outdoor seating. We took up pretty much the whole outdoor patio and just had a great lunch before moving on to Champion Harley Davidson in Roswell. When you first leave Roswell headed west on Highway 70, the landscape's pretty barren, but that quickly changes as you get closer to Ruidoso, which is located up in the mountains. So you start getting the curvy roads and gaining elevation. About the only thing to see is Fox Cave, which was once used as a hideout by William H. Bonney, aka Billy the Kid, who spent a lot of time in this area of New Mexico in Lincoln County. Our next stop was in Ruidoso, New Mexico. Ruidoso is a mountain resort town known for skiing at Ski Apache in the winter, mountain biking, fishing. They have casinos operated by the Mescalero Apaches, camping, cabins, lots of outdoorsy stuff to do, and then just a real nice downtown area to walk through. The name actually comes from the little river that runs through the city, which is the Rio Ruidoso, which is Spanish for noisy river. And the town was founded back in 1885. So after we gassed up in Ruidoso, we pretty much started heading back towards El Paso. Some of the guys split off. A few of the guys were going to stay up in Ruidoso and visit the casinos. Some of the guys stopped in Oro Grande at a little bar, and some of us just headed back to El Paso. As we were leaving Ruidoso, one of my favorite views, either coming into it or leaving, is the view of Sierra Blanca Peak. Sierra Blanca is the highest point in southern New Mexico. It's 11,981 feet above sea level, which you can see right behind me here. It's part of the Sierra Blanca Mountains, or the White Mountains, that run through Lincoln County, New Mexico. As you're leaving Ruidoso, heading down the mountain towards Tularosa, you'll notice this little hill on the side of the road with a cross on top of it. This hill is called Round Mountain, and that cross was built to commemorate the Battle of Round Mountain, which was fought back in April of 1868 between the Mescalero Apaches and some citizens from Tularosa. There was a 6-hour battle on top of that mountain, and at the end, the citizens from Tularosa were victorious. So That cross was erected in 1957 to commemorate the battle. If you've ever wondered where the world's largest pistachio is, it's right here, outside of Ruidoso, New Mexico at McGinn's Pistachio Land. Just a kind of a neat roadside attraction to see as you're passing by. There's a couple pistachio farms in this area that are cool to visit. You can do tours of learn about pistachios and all that kind of stuff, how they're grown. Once you get south of Tularosa and Alamogordo on US Highway 54, the only other town is the almost ghost town of Oro Grande. It was originally established back in 1905 as Heria Junction, and they did find gold, so they changed the name to Oro Grande, which is Spanish for big gold, in 1906. The population hit a peak of 2,000 people. However, the gold rush was not as large as originally anticipated, and the population collapsed. Currently, I believe the population is around 50. A few of the guys stopped at a little tavern in Oro Grande, take a little break, but I had some plans that evening, so I pushed through to El Paso and rode solo the rest of the way home. And after spending most of the day in New Mexico, here I am crossing back into the great state of Texas. This is the Edge of Texas Steakhouse. It sits right on the state line between New Mexico and Texas. We started this ride in the morning with the sun rising and ended it with the sun setting. I love this shot with the sun setting behind the Franklin Mountains as I head south on Loop 375 back in El Paso. As always, another great ride with the El Paso HOG chapter. We do several rides a month. To find out about upcoming rides, check out our Facebook page, El Paso HOG chapter, or check out the website, elpasohog.com. Rides are posted on both locations. You can also sign up for the El Paso HOG chapter's email list that goes out, and also get information on joining the Harley Owners Group, both locally and nationally. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was an awesome day, awesome ride. Great group of people. If you guys liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like to see, throw down a comment. This is my first time doing all the audio afterwards, just getting the video during the event. Let me know what you think. Is it better? Do you like it better when I'm talking during the ride? Let me know. I do lots of rides with the El Paso HOG chapter. Also do a lot of solo rides and trips. I have a series for Harley Davidson's 50 Rides, One Nation, as well as a national park series. So if you're interested in those kind of things, please subscribe to the channel. We're just getting started. Been making videos for the past couple months. We upload new videos every Monday. So like I said, if you're interested, please subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next ride.